Music Production.
What is poppin'? We're looking at Iris Energy Limited. There's going to be a technical breakdown here. It seems pretty straightforward, but I'll get into as much detail as I can in the shortest period of time. Weekly time frame looked gorgeous here. Great setup going on. And then for whatever reason, markets decided to take a nice little downturn, which is completely okay. If you really look at it from this $3 zone, the stock went up 220% to end the year in December. It correcting from the highs 35%, is that really something to freak out about? Not really. It went up 200%. I bought in at 309 or 319, one of those numbers, and just been riding it since. I still don't think it's worth selling just because the upside is immense, especially if these ETFs get approved. You got to really pay attention to, like, how could that affect the space? People are going to be looking for vehicles to put their money in terms of crypto. And as people get more knowledgeable about the crypto space, maybe they'll come to the conclusion that Bitcoin miners have a big part of Bitcoin in general. So again, nobody knows what's going to happen. I'm not going to fuck around with any of that, like making assumptions about why it's going to be a powerful stock, and nobody really knows. But from a technical perspective, this is what I would be paying attention to, right? So we have this major zone that we really struggled with since May 2022, and a lot of the miners look like this. There's a major zone for some reason that we struggled with. Basic supply demand features, right? This is why I like looking at the charts, is because it really is that simple. It's as simple as understanding supply and demand. What are the support and resistance levels looking like? What is the overall trend of the stock right now? Like right now, this base here, and again, it's a little bit easier to see on a weekly time frame, but this is almost 2 years coming up now of a base that's trying to being developed under this zone, right? So it's going to take time. It's not going to just fly out of this area. What I like is that we're still above this price. So this is the price between 585 and 630, call it. Now, when you zoom in on the 2-day time frame, it seems pretty clear to me that right now we just got way too extended from the 8 EMA and the 21 EMA. And now we just need to regather and set up a base above these zones. So what we want to see is this zone here. We want it to act as support, right? Along with that, if the trend is strong, these moving averages are going to act strong as well as support. So again, look at the 3-day time frame. Look at the weekly time frame. Iris Energy looks very interesting. The weekly chart brings us right back to this area. If the stock is strong, it's going to want to hold this zone, right? We have this low, we have a high, a higher low, a higher high. Is this going to act as a higher low before we continue slowly upward, something like this? Potentially. That could be potentially the case. It's going to take patience for sure. I don't think things are going to move as quickly as they did in December 2023. The reason why I think that is because this right here, in my opinion, looks like anything under this zone with this much increase, with a strong increase of bullish volume, consistent accumulation volume patterns here. In my opinion, that's big money positioning themselves for a big move in the years to come. I don't think big money is expecting us to come right back up into this $14 to $16 zone next week. So this is going to take time to develop. It could take a few months to weed out all the sellers in this base, because you have to remember, right? Like, if we're looking at this from a perspective that right now it's disbelief, if we're looking at these charts and we believe that right now we're in this disbelief part of the chart, right? So if you're looking at it from this perspective, if we're around here, the psychology of this part of the chart is some people don't believe it. Don't believe. Some people think the people who bought up here, who are seeing the price at this range right now, right? The people who bought over here on IREN, who now have the opportunity to sell after a 200% move plus, this is their, all right, I'm getting out of here because there's no way this stock's going higher. This is my last chance. So if you're thinking of it from that perspective, it does start to make a little bit more sense on why we could be seeing this pullback here. Again, these zones, when you rip 200% in 10 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks, like it starts to get a little bit too far extended. As you could see, we're starting to come back to the 80 EMA potentially on the weekly time frame. Potentially the 21 EMA needs to be retested as well. So that's the breakdown here on Iris Energy. Easy.